All right, I got recommended this video by someone in the Discord, so let's watch it.
This beast destroyed my home, devoured my family, and burned to a cinder all that I love. But revenge would not benefit me now, and to disturb it is to risk bringing its wrath down upon another land.
Dude.
If you can slay the dragon of Crandor, you are a greater hero than my land ever produced. There is no shame in backing out now.
Dude.
From the humble beginnings of baking a cake to the legendary feats of combat with ancient dragons, Gielinor is brimming with mystery and adventure.
100%.
And this library is filled with the echoes of those tales just begging to be told once more. So embark on this odyssey with me through the legends of Gielinor.
Bro, this is so cool. The amount of time and effort that he's put into this is nuts. Just like through the roof. Dude. Dude, it's so good.
Our story begins with a brave adventurer seeking to test his mettle and make a name for himself.
Yep.
And what better place to start than at the Champions Guild?
Dude, that first moment when you walk in here, if you're anything like me, when you first started playing old school RuneScape, you went around clicking on every single door that you could find and trying to go into every single building that there was. And because of that, you ended up finding this one that you weren't allowed to get into very quickly, and it became this sort of this monument to your success, the ability to get into that door. And when you finally do, and then start Dragon Slayer inside of there, and then you're on this giant quest that for me stayed yellow forever originally. I mean, when I was a kid, when I was, 9 years old, 8 years old, however old I was playing this game, and Dragon Slayer just stayed yellow forever because there were so many little pieces of it that I couldn't do, which is hilarious to look back on now because of how complicated some of the later quests get compared to Dragon Slayer. But dude, back in the day, this is a big deal.
The Guildmaster advises the adventurer that there is only one man that can give him such a quest, by the name of Oziak, who lives on the outskirts of Edgeville.
And he's rude, dude. He's just so rude. He's like, dude, go kill this dragon. And you're like, what? And you're like, how do I do that? And he's like, I don't know, dude. Get out of my house.
After arriving at Oziak's place, he inquires about the rune plate body the man is wearing. He tells him that it's an esteemed chess piece reserved only for heroes, and if he wanted one for himself, he would need to prove his worth by slaying the notoriously vicious dragon who lies beneath the scorched island of Crandor, Elvarg. Our brave young adventurer eagerly accepts the task, as it was finally his time to be recognized for his strength. It was time to become a hero. He returns to the Champions Guild to gather intel on his task and begin planning his next course of action. The Guildmaster, surprised at the difficulty of the quest assigned to the new adventurer, begins to tell him the story of Crandor.
Dude, it feels so alive. It's so... I think maybe because of the lack of density of text in RuneScape, it was much easier to sort of grasp onto when I was a child trying to make my way through it for the first time. But it just feels so alive comparative to some of the other games that I've played in my life. Like, I know I talked about this to death, and I know that I brought it up so many times, but it just feels like a place that you go and live, Gielinor. It feels so natural to be there for me, and I don't know, the lore that's going on, the stories of the quests. I mean, I can't think of another game that exists that I could tell you basically every single plot line of every single quest in it. At least the ones that were around when I was playing, all those years ago. I don't know. It's just special.
30 years ago, Crandor was a thriving community with a great tradition of mages and adventurers.
Poor Crandor.
Many of those Crandorians even earned the right to be part of this guild. However, one of their adventurers went too far, he descended into the volcano at the center of the island and woke the slumbering beast. He must have fought valiantly against the dragon, because they say to this day she has a scar down her side. After defeating the adventurer, she then went on to decimate the island. Elvarg left only 3 survivors who used magic to escape, whose names were Thalzar, Lozar, and Melzar, each hiding a piece of the map back to Crandor. Melzar built a maze of a castle north of Rimington that he locked himself in and hasn't been seen for years. Thalzar, being the most paranoid of the 3, hid his map piece in a secret location that he took to his grave.
Bro, this is like Dark Souls style, dude. This is so good. Absolute shout outs to Rosie. This is crazy well done, dude. It really frames this in a way that I've sort of never thought of it before, because, you know, RuneScape feels kind of goofy a lot of times when you play it, and because of that, you don't really take a whole lot of it super duper seriously. But in this format and putting it together this way, it is a whole different kind of story. I mean, obviously now we know Elvarg as a pretty simple first, you know, step to getting to where you're going to in this game. But dude, it was really, really difficult when it released. It was the hardest challenge that had come out at that point. And even when I was doing it as a kid, it was really difficult. And even doing it this past time, it's a decently hard fight, especially if you're not flinching, man. You have to be really prepared for this. Going in free to play without all the extra stuff that you can bring in from being a member. Because you think of it as, I mean, you know, Dragon Slayer is the end of free-to-play. It is the beginning of your journey into everything else. Once you've done Dragon Slayer, you've probably done just about every single quest on free-to-play. And that means that you no longer have any quest to do if you're not paying money. And then you pay money, and then you unlock a huge list of quests. Some of them are easier than Dragon Slayer. A lot of them are way harder. But it is your first step to the idea of there are going to be bosses. There are going to be multi-step, multi-level quests that involve you traveling all over the place. You're going to have to put things together and figure things out in order to make it through this game, and it's not going to be a cakewalk. And, you know, the allusions to Dark Souls that I feel like this is sort of making really fit well.
To find it, you'll have to trek up the Ice Mountain and console the Oracle. Lozar unfortunately perished in battle against a horde of goblins who raided her home and stole everything. One of those goblins from the Goblin Village probably has the map piece by now. He also says that
Level
despite
5 and
the
level 2
strength of our
goblins, dude.
adventurer, he will need special protection from the ferocity of the dragon's breath, and that the Duke of Lumbridge has such an enchanted shield. And so the adventure begins.
I find
in
it
earnest
odd that you just get
as our
given the
would-be
shield.
hero sets off to gather what he needs to take on Elvarg. First heading to the Goblin Village, he interrogates the general when he arrives, learning of one named Wormbrain, who, driven by greed, was apprehended and imprisoned in the Port Sarim jail, still clutching the coveted map piece. So he treks his way to the Port Sarim jail to have a word with this goblin.
This goblin's also kind of a douche.
After arriving at the jail, he quickly spots the creature and offers him a trade of
This is about what I
500
look
gold
like,
pieces
too.
for the map piece.
I got his skirt on at this point, actually.
The goblin, however, was not so willing to depart with the map piece and demanded the exorbitant amount of 10,000 gold coins. While our adventurer
Ridiculous.
may be brave, rich he was not. With
It's like really merciless. It helps that he respawns the second that you kill him, that no sooner than that map appears on the ground, that goblin is back there again, so it doesn't feel like you did anything wrong. But imagine that you walk into a prison in real life because one of the inmates has something that you want, and instead of and you grab him by the throat and pull him to you and start stabbing him in the stomach and then grab the piece out of his pocket, dude. Like, it's pretty dark. Your character in RuneScape ends up being such a, by just nature of the way the story goes, he ends up being snooty and sarcastic and also committing so many crimes, dude.
Melzar's map piece in hand, he
We're not
headed
the
to the
good
next
guy.
location, the Maze of Melzar the Mad.
Also, we can chop trees better. Dude, this was dope, man. Dude. This fight was nuts. And getting through here was such a test of will. I got super lucky on my last playthrough, and I think I kind of remembered some of it from when I was younger. But when I was a kid going through Melzar's Maze for the first time, how many times did I have to go back and start all over again because I had picked the wrong door while trying to get through it? I mean, it was a test of will. I don't know if being young just makes you less able to do something for a long period of time, but man, that was a rough go. Dude, this is so sick. No, get him, man. You forgot one. Yeah, put him down. You take that left and you go all the way to the end of the hall. Yep. And you climb down and you see Melzar. Summon a cabbage.
By the power of custard.
But he's not even the real challenge. This is the thing, is that you fight Melzar and you're like, see, that wasn't such a big deal, like, whatever. Even though I think Melzar did do significant damage to me when I was younger, but he was not a problem when I came back. The real problem is what happens
With
next.
Melzar defeated, another key appeared. It seemed the map piece was still further in.
Yep, there we go. Dude, the lesser demon fight is, like, honestly kind of hard. A lot of times this is your first time ever fighting a lesser demon face to face too. You might have fought one in the cages, or you might, if you really know what you're doing, you might have went and safe spotted some, but you've never fought a lesser demon face to face up to this point. He's got a rune semi too. That's pretty wild. Wow. Easy fight for him.
With the lesser demon vanquished, our would-be hero claims
Is
his
this all
prize
rune? I
and
did not have
exits
all
the
rune.
maze,
I thought this was mythical
heading
first.
on to his third and final map piece.
This is a very interesting.
He climbs to the peak of Ice Mountain per the Guildmaster's instruction to get the sage wisdom from the Oracle. Once he reached the top, the Oracle gives the adventurer a riddle. The map's behind a door below, but entering is rather tough. This is what you need to know. You must use the following.
What a classic RuneScape thing, by the way, to give you a riddle and these vague ideas of what it is that you need to get in order to open something, and not even a clear idea of where you're actually going. So I've been playing this game without any guides or anything, and I've been doing it through an Iron Man sort of perspective, and I'll tell you what, dude, RuneScape is very, very cryptic. I think that if you've never done RuneScape without Quest Helper, go and do it, because you have a notion of what this game is like, and it is not the truth. I mean, Quest Helper is so unbelievably useful, and it's probably my preferred way to play the game because, contrary to popular belief, I don't actually enjoy taking 7 hours to do Ghost Ahoy. But it is a whole different kind of game whenever you're not using Quest Helper.
Stuff. First, a drink used by a mage. Next, some worm string changed to sheet. Then a small crustacean cage.
Wizard's Mind
Lastly,
Bomb,
a bowl
Lobster Pot,
that's not seen heat.
Unfired
This
Bowl,
would
and
translate to a
Silk.
list of assorted items. A wizard mind bomb, a magical drink. Silk, once worm string. A lobster pot home to crustaceans. And an unfired bowl, untouched by heat.
Do you guys know how they make silk? It's wild.
With the items obtained, he
a
ventures
short
deep
story about
beneath
it one time.
Falador, bringing them to a mysterious door. Once used on the door, it begins to glow and open.
There it is.
Beyond the door was a chest with an ominous inscription that reads, "Here I rest the map to my beloved home. To whoever finds it, I beg of you, let it be. I was honor bound not to destroy the map piece, but I have used all my magical skill to keep it from being recovered. This map leads to the lair of the beast that destroyed my home, devoured my family, and burned to a cinder all that I love. But revenge would not benefit me now, and to disturb this beast is to risk bringing its wrath down upon another land. I cannot stop you from taking this map piece now, but think of this. If you can slay the Dragon of Crandor, you would be a greater hero than my land ever produced."
Like 30 hours of gameplay, something like that, to kill. I think that someone's done it at level 3 now, Greater hero than their land ever produced. That's all I'm
There
saying.
is no shame in backing out now. Unshaken by these words, our brave adventurer opens the chest and secures the third and final map piece, now one step closer to the ever-looming battle. Finally, it was time to pay a visit to the Duke of Lumbridge in pursuit of the magical shield.
This is the first thing I did. This is the easiest piece. Home teleport, get the shield. You know what's up.
Upon hearing the adventurer's quest, the Duke, visibly distraught, recounts a similar tale of fear and chaos that the infamous dragon wrought during his own childhood. Despite his reluctance, he relinquishes the shield to our brave would-be hero, offering some parting words before sending him off on his perilous journey.
It is becoming legendary, the little black slits that they use for eyes in RuneScape.
If you kill it for Saradomin's sake, make sure it's really dead. And with that, the adventurer gathered everything he needed to take on Elvarg. All that was left was to find a sailor brave or stupid enough to take him to the island and a boat to carry them.
Just imagine doing all this to wear a piece of armor. Imagine risking life and limb against a dragon that everyone tells you you're a fool for going up against in order to get a single piece of rune plate body. Just why? The chain body would be plenty. Because of adventure, Cole. That's why we do it. I know. And then disaster strikes. Poor cabin boy. He just got thrown into this because he was sold with the ship, man. I don't even care about that guy. The crazy thing is that later on, if you go back and find where the Lady Lumbridge was, it's there again, and they've renamed it, and they've resold it to somebody else who bought the boat. Like, you paid for a thing, you own the thing, and then someone else resells it again. This is a scam that they're doing constantly, They're just moving this boat through the hands of every adventurer. We keep selling this thing, dude. They just keep buying it. It's like hotcakes. There's something about the Champions Guild. I don't know. There's a scheme going on. They're all linked together. Dude, it's so dramatic. I love the slow-mo. It's like the Justice League out here. It's like Zack Snyder's got the Justice League, dude. Then you wash up on shore. This is where the stress starts to kick in. This is where you feel like there's no turning back, and you're questioning all the decisions that you made. And can I really do this? Is it possible for me to actually beat this dragon? I've heard so many terrible things. So you start to sweat. Even the run up to the dragon, you know, they're chipping away at your health and making you use a little bit of food.
Though the vessel is wrecked, our adventure emerges from the chaos, emboldened by a newfound determination.
Yeah, sure, it's a newfound determination. Dude, rune armor is iconic. I'll go ahead and say it. As much as dragon med helms are iconic, as much as dragon chain bodies are iconic, rune plate armor, full rune plate armor is an absolutely iconic look as well. It just is. It is the last tier of armor that looks like that, and it looks so good. That collar blue is just perfect. Absolutely perfect.
With fury and resolve burning within him, he begins his descent into the volcano.
So iconic.
Where the dragon lurks.
You should have been wearing the Champion's Guild cape. The blue one. I love the Guild capes, dude. The Legends cape was... I wanted that for so long. More than I wanted a Fire cape, I wanted a Legends cape when I was a kid. It looks sick. I hope he flinches it. He's not going to. Into the lava. Dude, this is the way RuneScape feels inside of your head when you're a child. When you're sitting around, when you're sitting in your room just imagining playing RuneScape and you're thinking about what it will be like, and you're imagining just all of your friends and you going into the wilderness on some crazy quest because something wild has happened, and you're all ganged up together and you're imagining what other people would say and a fight happens. This is the way that you imagine the fight happening. And then you go into it just... Dude, flinch him. It's easy.
This beast destroyed my home, devoured my family, and burned to a cinder all that I love. If you can slay the dragon of Crandor, you would be a greater hero than my land ever produced.
Through the head. Yeah. Yeah, dude.
It was a hard-fought battle, but our adventurer...
It's really well done. You know, the lava is the thing that's lighting the scene, so he's backlit from the... And then from the front, it's completely shaded. That's really well done. Really good attention to detail. The glare off of the dragon shield, or the anti-dragon fire shield. This dude's very talented. Very talented indeed.
Our hero was triumphant. He had succeeded where all those before him had failed. The citizens
Classic
of this
RuneScape
once
story.
bustling city, they can now rest in peace. Elvar will terrorize no more.
Same old story. Morty's killing
With that,
Mortys.
he completed his quest, and the natural end to any good quest is a reward. So he returns to Oziak.
barely fits that door, dude. Dude, this Doom music is insane, bro.
Now proudly displaying his
Almost like
achievement
Gojira music.
marks the end of our hero's first of many legends. But this was only the beginning of a much larger plot to unfold.
Straight up, dude. Give this video a like. Go subscribe to Rosie RS if you haven't already. That was such a good video. It's absolutely incredible. Dragon Slayer is one of those quests, dude. You know, it really is. It's up there with everything else as far as just absolutely important to your journey through the world of Gielinor and your memories of this game. Those core memories that you form really do come through all the time. And there's so many quests that are iconic from RuneScape in the first place, even before you do Dragon Slayer. I mean, Cook's Assistant is absolutely iconic as well. Sheep Shearer, Prince Ali Rescue, all these, just they're all so... It's a special game, I think, because of the amount of time that it takes you to do each individual quest and the way that all of them have a different plot line and a different thing that you have to do for them. There are very few go out and kill X amount of enemies and get this thing from them quests. I mean, I guess Imp Catcher is probably one of the only ones that I can think of that are that's legitimately directly like that. And even that one feels out of the ordinary and strange because of where it sits in the RuneScape world. What a good game, dude. What an amazing time it is to be alive and be able to have all these experiences with this game. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Be safe out there. Bye.